Now, if you're still with me, we're on part 3 of chapter 5. We're going to do some pivot table options here. First thing we want to do is add a filter to our table. So I'm going to go over to the pivot table. And what I want to filter in is I'm going to grab the materials and drag it down here and drop it into the filters. Notice A1 and B1 now have new content. Select the down arrow in B1. Come down here, select all. That allows me to then select the items that I want. I'm going to unselect everything and pick canvas and leather, the first two. Say OK. Now I also want to filter the type of data and get rid of the U. Now I can select all here and then select M and U, or I could just unselect the U. We'll do the same thing. And now I've filtered my table. Next I want to insert a slicer. So I'm going to go to my Analyze tab and insert a slicer. Select category. So I'm going to build a slicer which has buttons that I can then sort by just clicking the buttons by clicking on the category tab and clicking enter. Now I don't want backpacks to be included in my category list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my control key down, select backpack, and that will remove it from my categories. And notice it's out of the table as well. Let's move this up to F1. It looks like I need to zoom out a little bit. Actually, I'm going to leave it here for a moment. I'll move it to F1 in a minute. I want my table to have 2 columns. Right now it's 1 column wide, so I'm going to go up and say 2 columns. And I want to make my buttons 1 inch wide. Right now they're 0.89, and I think 1 inch I'm going to be able to see everything fine. Looks like I will okay at 0.9. Make it 1. I think it looks a little nicer, but I don't need all this extra space down below. I can drag this up. I'm going to put it about 1 inch. Yeah, that looks good. Let's make it 1.3. Now I can move this over to F1. Click off of it. I'm going to scroll out just a little bit so that I can see my slicer. Options, I'm going to select my slicer, go to options, and I'm going to change the slicer style to light blue, dark 1. Let's go ahead and add a calculated field. We're going to do that by first clicking in the table. So right now my slicer is highlighted. I need to click in the table so that I get my Analyze tab up here. Now I have field settings, field items, and sets, field lists, field headers. So there's a lot of things called fields. And what we want in the calculation, because we're doing a calculated field, we're going to click the calculated fields in the fields item and sets list. The name of this calculated field is going to be designers royalties. Next, I want to insert a field in the formulas bar. Right now it says equals 0. Just leave that alone for now. Grab your scroll handle, go all the way to the bottom, and grab this total bag sales. Just double click, and the 0 is replaced with the total bag sales. Notice that I have a single quote on each side of that. Then at the end, I'm going to go ahead and do a multiplication, which is a Shift 8, or right above the 9 key on your keypad, and then 0.1. 0.1 for 10%. Click OK. Let's click in Ch05. Over here in the active fields group, let's click on field settings, and we're going to change this to designer royalties. So I'm going to get rid of sum of, click OK. Notice my name has changed. I'm not seeing my slicer, so let's go grab it, move it down here to A12. Next, let's grab Ch05. Hold your control key, grab E5, so the non-adjacent cells. Up on our home tab, let's center alignment, wrap the text, and let's see what else should we do. Let's go format the row height. Let's add that as 30, okay. And let's format the column width as 12, okay. Looks good. Next, right click on the pivot table sheet tab, select move or copy. I'll pull this up so we can see it. Select bags, and then we want to create a copy. Click OK. Now we're going to change the pivot table style. So again, click any cell within your pivot table. So that way we get the new tabs up here. Click Design tab. Styles, we want to select More. Let's select light orange. Pivot style medium 3. And that's the third one over in the medium top row. Now on the Moss exam, you might hear, again, I think I mentioned this on the table, you might have to do banded columns or banded rows. Now when we're in this pivot table, click any cell inside. I'm going to come up here, and for this one I want banded columns, and all it's going to do is make the columns a little darker on the lines. Just on the tables when we were doing that, it added a different color. I'm going to go ahead and save my file. Go to the first sheet. I'm going to select all my sheets, so I'm going to just go ahead and hit my Shift key, grab all 4 sheets so they're grouped. Go up to my page layout. Let's just leave it portrait for right now and take a look at it. But I'm going to go to margins, custom margins. I can center it horizontally on the page, fine. Header, footer, always custom footer. Put my name in the first section. I want sheet names in the middle, file names on the far right. Okay, I'm going to do a quick print preview, just see where I'm at. 13 pages, this is what I want. Let's see, I don't like that one. That's not going to work for me. That would, actually, I'm going to go back up. Let's go ahead and change the orientation to landscape. I'm going to pick the width. I don't care about the height, but I do want the width to fit in one page. The height, I don't want to scrunch up. If remember, we're not really printing this, so we're okay there. Do a Control P, 9 pages. I have my information across the bottom. Yes, good. Make sure this works. I can see all my subtotals. Yep, I like that. Okay, that looks good. I can see my slicer. That looks good. And I see my other, yeah, I like that. So change it to landscape, fit the column width to one sheet. We should have a total of 9 sheets. I'm going to go ahead and hit save just to make sure I save it, and then I'll make my PDF. Options, entire workbook, always entire workbook. Okay, publish. And there's my PDF. Close both files, highlight them, compress the files, upload to Moodle, we're done. See you on the next chapter.